It's 3 a.m. and you're awake. Nothing woke you. No noise, no bad dream, no reason you can name. You're just flat on your back with your eyes open. The clock reads 3 and the ceiling feels enormous and very close. Your heart's going a little quick for a man lying still. And then the arithmetic starts. You count back from the alarm. If you drop off this second, 4 hours. You do not drop off this second. Here's what your doctor never mentioned, and the wellness internet never will. Your body didn't fumble this. It woke you at almost exactly this hour on purpose. And by the end of this, you'll have met 33 people who slept in one camp for 20 nights, and one number that might change how it feels to be lying here awake. So start with the thing nobody tells you. You are not the only one awake. You're not even the only one in your bed. That person next to you, the one you envy, dead to the world, surfaced 4 or 5 times tonight too. Everybody does. Sleep isn't a switch you throw and hold till morning. It runs in loops, about 90 minutes each, and at the top of every loop you float up near the surface, close to waking, sometimes all the way. The only real difference between you and the sleeper beside you is that they don't remember it. They surface, roll over, sink back down, and by morning it's wiped. You surfaced, and something kept you up top. The question was never why you woke. Everybody wakes. So why are you still awake to notice? So why this hour? Why 3 and not 1 and not 6? Your body runs on a heat clock, and it cools as you sleep, down and down, hitting bottom in the small hours, a couple of hours before you'd normally wake. Right now, you're at your literal coldest, slowest reactions, lowest mood, the floor of the whole day. And that's the exact moment something turns the key. A hormone called cortisol, the stuff that gets you up and moving, starts climbing in the pre-dawn dark, around 3 to 5 in the morning. The internet says your cortisol spikes at 3 a.m., like a fire bell in an empty bank. It doesn't spike, it climbs, slow and dull, the way the heating clicks on before you're up. But it climbs while you're parked at your coldest and lowest, the ignition turning while the engine's still frozen. That's the feeling of snapping awake with your heart going and no reason for it. You could reach for your phone, or not. Either way, you're now doing math in the dark about how little sleep is left, the one job guaranteed to keep you up for all of it. In the second half of the night, one more thing's stacked against you. Early on, you're down in the deep, heavy sleep, hard to pull anyone out of. As the night runs on, the mix changes, tilting toward dreaming and light sleep, the shallow end of the pool. So by 3 a.m. you're already swimming near the top, which is exactly when a full bladder or a stray thought tips you over into a wake and holds you there. And if you've ever met a real worry up here, you know it turns up far bigger than it has any business being. A bill. A thing you said to someone in 2019. Down here it's the size of the ceiling. That's not you being weak or dramatic. You're meeting that worry at the coldest, least defended point your brain touches all day, so of course it wins. It'll be half the size at breakfast. One thing, said straight, because it matters. The wake this video's about is the ordinary one, the kind you sink back down from in 20 minutes. If your 3 a.m. is a nightly war that wrecks your days, that's real, and it's a conversation for a doctor, not a video. The rest of this is about the ordinary wake. So by now the story writes itself, and it isn't a kind one. You're a bad sleeper. You're stressed, you're wired, your body's broken. Modern life did this to you. That's the reading we all reach for at 3 a.m., feeling like a phone that won't hold its charge. But let me try a different one on you. What if the waking isn't the malfunction? What if it's one of the oldest, most ordinary things a body does, and the strange, brand new part, the thing that would baffle every ancestor you've got, is the single, unbroken 8-hour block you're trying to force it into? For almost all of human history, waking in the dark wasn't a problem. It was so normal it had names. People slept in 2 shifts. A first sleep from dark till around midnight, an hour or 2 awake to tend the fire, then a second sleep to dawn. Shut volunteers in 14 hours of darkness a night, and their sleep quietly splits back into 2, with a calm, wakeful gap in the middle. So your 3 a.m. wake might be a very old room your body still knows how to walk into. But that's not even the reframe I want to give you. Because there's a version of this that isn't about you at all. It's about whoever you were sleeping next to. To see it, you have to leave your bedroom. Leave the mattress, the blackout curtains, the deadbolt on the door. Go back to how humans slept for almost the entire run of the species. Outdoors, or near enough, in a group, around a fire burning down to embers, nothing between you and the dark but each other. No walls, no lock, no light bulb. And out past the last of the firelight, there are things with teeth that do their finest work at night. So here's the question that camp has to answer, every single night. When everyone's spent and the fire's low and sleep is dragging the whole group under at once, who is watching the dark? You'd think you post a guard, but guards are a bad bet. They fall asleep, they get bored, draw the short straw, nod off at the worst possible moment. A camp betting its life every night on one tired volunteer staying awake is a camp that, sooner or later, doesn't wake up. So the honest answer is, nobody watches the dark. And that should be a death sentence for the whole species. It wasn't. In 2017, researchers went and worked out why. They went to Tanzania, to the Hadza, one of the last peoples still living the hunter-gatherer way, sleeping the way the whole species used to, the way your body still half expects to. They strapped motion sensors on the wrists of 33 adults, from 20-year-olds to people in their 60s, and logged their nights. 20 of them, more than 220 hours of darkness, recorded minute by minute. And here's the number the whole thing rests on. Across all of it, the total time when every single one of those 33 people was asleep at the same moment was 18 minutes. 18. Out of 20 nights. For all the rest of it, 99.8% of the night, somebody in that camp was awake or stirring or drifting in the shallows of half-sleep, with their senses still half on. Pick any moment in the dark, and on average about 8 of them were up. The camp, taken as one body, essentially never lost consciousness. It just did it a few people at a time, and nobody planned a minute of it. So who, exactly, was awake at 3 a.m.? So who ends up on watch? Whoever's clock says so. Your body clock isn't fixed for life. It slides. Little kids wake with the sun. Then, somewhere in the teens, it shoves late. Latest of all around 19, which is the real reason you couldn't fall asleep at 17 and couldn't get up before noon. Then it turns around, and across your adult life it creeps earlier again, year on year, until you're the grandparent wide awake at 5 with the radio on. Now put all those ages around one fire. The teenager's still up at midnight because his clock won't let him sleep yet. The grandmother's up at 4 a.m. because hers won't let her sleep later. And in the hours between, someone, always someone, has their eyes open in the dark. Nobody chose it. Nobody was told to. The kid who can't fall asleep and the old woman who can't stay asleep both spent their lives sure they were just bad at it. They were the night watch. The researchers gave it a name, the poorly sleeping grandparent. The very person we pity, up at 3 a.m., padding around the house, certain their sleep is broken, is the one the whole group was resting on. In a camp, that person is why everybody else gets to close both eyes. Now, careful here, because this is where it's easy to oversell. Nobody can tell you that your exact wake-up tonight in your locked house with the alarm set is you standing guard over anything. Science doesn't make that claim, and I won't make it for it. Your camp is long gone. The fire and the animals in the dark are gone. But the machinery that made you a useful light sleeper in that camp never got the message. It's still in you. The clock that wakes the old man early, the one that keeps the teenager up late, the surfacing every 90 minutes with your senses half on, all of it still runs, in a body that hasn't had a camp to guard in 10,000 years. So maybe the wake was never you failing at sleep. Maybe it's a job, a very old one your body still knows how to do, on a shift that got cancelled a long time ago and never quite came off the schedule. So the next time it's 3 a.m. and you're flat on your back, heart going, the house quiet around you, you don't have to reach for the phone and start the math. You could try the other thought, that a long way back down the line, this was the moment you were meant to be awake. The sleeping shapes in the other rooms are yours to listen for, and the oldest part of you just clocked in for a shift nobody ever told it was over. Anyway, sleep well, or don't. You come from a long, long line of people who were remarkably good at it.